All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show. Hopefully, things are sounding okay. I've done some work here in the room, moving microphones around, and you can see the new camera angle, and the camera's actually dipping a little bit, which is weird. I gotta actually move that up a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. Oh boy, now you can see the mic. Boy, it's a whole thing. I'm such a perfectionist. If you can see the mic at all, it kind of makes me angry. But anyway, good morning, all. Happy Friday. Today is going to be another one of those Ask Me Anything Fridays. So the show could either be 10 minutes or 10 hours. We'll see how many questions you guys have. And again, it's a Friday, so anything goes. I just don't care. So here we go. Let's jump into the actual stuff. And look, I have no announcements today. Usually I have all sorts of good things to say. No announcements other than working through some Craps for the Cure stuff. And I'll kind of tell you kind of behind the scenes how things are working out. So it's kind of hard. I mean, we think about putting a big thing like this together. It's not easy, right? And we're trying to find rooms for everybody. It's very, very difficult because we have NASCAR in town that weekend in Vegas, which makes all the room prices are here, right? So I'm working with my guys at Premier to block off rooms at Palace Station. That's the target is Palace Station, and I'll get more into this in the daily pay in the CFC segment. But we're working through getting rooms blocked. We have the block, and now it's about getting pricing, right? So if you want to be there with us, I know like Ryan and Joe, maybe Jeff, Craig, others that are going to be there to kind of help out and do work. You know what I mean? You got to be with me as a Premier client, so to speak. I code you as a Premier person so that when you get into the rooms, we get the Premier rate, number one, or a comp, depending if you've got previous points. So that's what's happening. And I know that Casino Quest David's also got an extra 25% off that we can run through too. So there are discounted rates available through that. We just got to get it all figured out. So I'm working hard at this. Trust me, yesterday I spent about, 2-3 hours just back and forth and random text messages with people, just trying to get things kind of, it's hard. So we're working through it. That's the big news and notes for today. Again, reminder of that schedule, that week of Craps for the Cure. I'm going to be there Wednesday. I think Wednesday's the 17th or 16th. Big AZ invited me to film on a couple tables with him, so I'll be doing that. Hang out with the Blue Wrench crew a little bit. And then we're going to do our thing over the weekend. Then I'm back out here on Monday. So hopefully I'll be able to, while I'm out there, have a session or talk at least with Bo Parker in person. I've been trying to get to him. I'm sure I'll see Tony. I'm sure I'll see some others too. So should be a good, I have enough time carved out, I think, this trip to actually visit some people. But, because I'm going to be at Vegas almost every weekend doing the Casino Quest thing, I will be able to see people. My hope is that I can fly out there on Thursdays, Thursday nights from here, and then spend Friday kind of doing the catch-up thing, and then Saturday, Sunday working. So we'll see. Depends on how the JOB situation works itself out. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. All right. So daily paycheck today was a fun one. And thank you, Kevin, for that. It was a fun one today. It was interesting. Fridays we don't typically play for real, right? We put the bubble machine out there and we did a bunch of dumb shit. I actually tried out Waylon's strategy today. I went lay 4 and 10 with the don't pass, and then I went across for one roll, and then reduced everything. Never got it. We never got it. We picked ourselves off the come out rolls. We buckshotted every single point and knocked that don't pass. We never got it to work. That thing burned about 20 grand today. It was just brutal. I found every hole this morning in that strategy. And I typically, when I run a Waylon thing, the first time I run it, that's what happens. Then we settle in and we does okay. But when I first show them, I always seem to destroy it the first time out. So this goes to show you, right? Every strategy, has a great mindset behind it, but they don't always work. You know what I'm saying? $5 don't pass, $5 across seems like it's going to be just fine on a bubble craps machine. How many times do you pick that freaking point? You got to come out 7, lose your don't pass, set up the 5 across, pick off your point. Okay, go on back out there and 7 out. It's like that happens all the time. You know what I mean? That's why this game is so freaking hard, right? But anyway, I did introduce. It's not a new strategy by any means, but we played a different way in the second when I had the dice in my hands. I was trying to think. Like a more leveraged play, right? Where it's like, let's go across, and if an inside number rolls, press all the insides. If an outside number rolls, press all the outsides, right? And if either the next roll is an inside or an outside number, you're done, right? It can be 2 or 3 rolls and you're out. which I love. 2 or 3 rolls and out is the way it should be. If you're going to grind out a paycheck like this. This one leaves all the money out there, right? For the 2 or 3 rolls, which is why when it didn't make it, we lost the whole 5,000. When I do the drawdown at 5,000 and we take the first hit and come down to 2,500 with the profit, the next hit you're done. That thing works better than the 2,100 salute. Then this thing, it works better in every single situation because you reduce the risk on that second roll. If you would have taken the rolls that I threw today with that other strategy, I think I did 3 or 4 shooters, right? We never made the paycheck. We never got above 0, right? The Dallas Drawdown would have made paycheck on all the shooters. It would have made it every single time because that thing needed the 3rd hit to get through. The Drawdown had its 2 hits and it was done every time. That thing is just got a great winning percentage because of the reduced risk on roll 1. Once you get your first hit, you're good. You're not out of the woods, but you're out of the weeds at least, right? And you're going to be, even if you lose on that second roll, you're losing a little tiny bit of your initial spread. You can recover that on the next shooter. When you lose $5,000 or half of your bankroll on the first shooter, you might as well go home because the recovery of that is almost impossible without a superior run. So we did have a good run like that this week, but it's so hard to play that way. That's why I like that drawdown system, and I may even try a 4-stage drawdown next week. I may just have an experimental day where I do a 4-stage drawdown where you go, whatever your bet size is, 4 units per number and draw down to 3, draw down to 2, draw down to 1 and stay there. So it's 3 hits and then you're sticking it out kind of a thing. I may run that out one day next week just to kind of give you a lens on how a less aggressive drawdown works. Just to it's more aggressive in terms of bankroll, but less aggressive in terms of the amount of drawdown. Anyway, we'll take a look at that and see what y'all think. That's about the paycheck update. The Crash for the Cure update is this. I got something to show you actually, which is kind of cool. The raffle items are starting to take shape. We talked about this. Joe's got his table that he's in the middle of building. Heavy Haltham, Axis Power Craps is going to put a class up. Dice Coat is putting a class up. Garrison's putting up the Super System and his book. Casino Player Magazine's put up some subscriptions for us. The Casino Tiers folks are giving us a pro pack, which is like the dice, the hat, the shirt, the whole thing, coffee cup, the whole deal. Tony Leo from Wade is doing phone consultations. And we have a new one. I mentioned actually the wood carving. So one of our subscribers, I'm not going to mention his name yet, but he did a wood carving. I don't want to just out people, right? He did a wood carving. That's basically going to be a cutting board, right? With the logo. So I think if I click here, you can see it. I think this will show it. Hopefully there it is. So that is a wood card. You can't see from this angle of it, right? It's black. That's all. He did like a carving, like with a CNC machine. So that's actually depressed into the wood. It's a carving. He showed me yesterday, like before he put the black in and then he put the black on it. And now it's here. So that's a handmade, our logo cutting board, right? Big cutting board. That's doesn't look big in the picture, but trust me, it's big. That's the newest item for auction. So that's a handmade thing like Joe's. I look at things like this and I say, Joe handmade something. This guy handmade something. Those are one-of-a-kind items, right? Dice Dr. Dan also put together another one of his amazing chip displays, like the one I've got back here. He put a custom one together for us. And again, these are things that you'll never get to have again. Like they're one-of-a-kind. And that's the whole point of an auction or a raffle, right? They're one-of-a-kind items. So you can get over to crapsforthecure.com, right? And start registering now. You get yourself in there. If you're going to come to the event, pay the $100 and put yourself in as a ticket. If you just want to donate money, you can donate money right now. There's a link to donate. Just put in whatever you want to and donate whatever you feel like all the time. I'm going to start doing Crapsy sessions, by the way. I'll put this over here. I'm going to start doing Crapsy through the CGTV account, and every donation that's made through Crapsy, all those dealer tips will now go right to the charity. So matter of fact, I might invite Craig and Joe and others in on that and say, look, you guys can all share, use that stream instead of your own stream, not stream, but that Crapsy login instead of your own logins for Crapsy from now through October, and start pumping folks up for donations. And then that way, all the donations through Crapsy will be earmarked for the charity. And so I'll be talking to folks over the weekend about that idea. I want to make sure Chuck has it working first, but assuming that he does, if think about it, if me and Brian and Craig and Joe and George and whoever else is doing, maybe Jeff is doing Crapsy shows. If you do the dealer tip thing in Crapsy, however that system works, all that money can go to Craps for the Cure. And Chuck will make the direct payment to the charity for that. So that would be a great thing. The dealer tip is the donation. That's how we're going to do that. So yeah, that's the plan there. That's one new tie-in for us. So get to Craps for the Cure, get yourself registered, and get her done, right? Joe, I need from you pictures, right, from the table. I need like your final like your marketing copy pictures so I can put them on the website and have like a couple of angles from it. And we'll start getting those things out, and we'll start putting out the what do you call it? We can. So what's going to happen, Joe, is we're going to make a common login called Craps for the Cure. And so we'll all log into Crapsy with that account. You and me, we all log in with the same account name. And that way any table that you run, that's how it's going to be. All right. So we can totally do it. It's just a matter if Chuck has the tie into the charity yet. So stay tuned. Maybe we'll start that on Monday or next week. So that's the big update there. Like I said, I'm working through everything else. It's hard. It's hard to get things like, cruise ships to agree for a free stateroom. These things are not easy to do. But we're working every angle we can work to make this thing work out. So hopefully it's another successful one, right? Okay. That brings us to here. It is definitely Friday, and it's definitely Ask Me Anything Day. Joe, that's great. I would love to see some promos for sure, like a little builder up. Because think about this: if you do like a 30-second one during Craps for the Cure, while we're between guests, like, hey, we're going to bring on so and so guest, and we press the button to play the advertisement. The advertisements can be like a promo for your thing, right? Or whatever. You can talk about like the charity you built it for and everything else. So if we can do those, that's great, because that becomes easy advertisements during the show where I can go back and get a drink of water right while that's playing. So definitely get some promo videos up for sure. I'm making some as well that are going to be ads, like kind of about the charity as we go. So we'll have a bunch of those we can play during it. And I'll do a lot more of that this year than last year. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and filter on the capital Q. So if you have a question for me, do a capital Q and a colon like this. Like just do a Q colon, who are you voting for, right? You can do something like that, right? And I'll answer the question. So anything you want to know, put a Q in front of it, and I'll start filtering chats on questions. And as long as there are questions, I'll keep talking. If not, we'll just end the show early. So that's what it's going to be. California Crowd, have I started my book yet? Kinda. I've kind of started the book. And here's the way the book is going to work. I did those shows, the Gambling 101 through 401 series, right? And almost none of that was craps related. Almost none of it. It was all generalized gambling. So what I'm doing with that is I'm going to finish out polishing the videos, get them up there in order. Then I'm going to transpose those to book format. So like we're going to go, basically Gambling 101 is like section 1 of the book, and that class 1 is chapter 1, right? So I've got 90 chapters basically of how to be a gambler, so to speak, all that mindset stuff. And that'll be a book. That'll be a book on just kind of how to not be a degenerate, basically. And take all those tips, tricks, wisdom, whatever you want to call it, that we gave in that series to kind of help guide your experience at the casino, right? Go in there, eyes wide open, know how upside down you are walking in the door, all that stuff, right? Mindset, goals, everything. What I'm going to do is make that a book of its own, and I'm going to make that a 1-chapter intro, or maybe it's a 1-chapter appendix, right? Maybe it's like How to Play Craps by John, and it's like the first chapter says go to the appendix and read How to Be a Gambler. I'm going to summarize that whole series of 90 shows into one simple little sliver of a chapter with all the bullet points in it, so that in the Craps book, you have that as an easy reference. If you want more information, go buy the other book, kind of a thing. One book's going to be a deep dive. One book's going to be like almost like a preface, right? Then the Craps book is coming, and the Craps book is going to be, again, not how to win $1 million in craps. That's not the point of the book. The point of the book is to understand how the bets work, how the payments work, how these different pressing systems can potentially work, and give you ideas on how to construct a way to play. I'm not going to say here's the way to play. It's like here's a way, which way do you like better? Merge them somehow. That I want to give you in that book the tools to create your own way to play. I'm tired of books that just say here's the ultimate system. The ultimate system is how you want to do it, right? And as long as you're informed, and I tell my again, I got a lot of friends on all sides of the aisle here. I got dice thrower friends. I got friends who think dice throwing is bullshit. I got friends who think math is the only way. I got friends who think math players are stupid. I got everybody, all the gamut, right? Everybody's got an opinion on the right way to play, and I don't think that there is one, right? Everything that you do is a negative expectation. Everything you do, no matter what Jimmy says, right? Everything you do is negative. It's a matter of how do you want to do it, right? If you think, like I said yesterday, I'm tired of betting red chips and winning $6 at a time and sweating the $64, right? I'm willing to still lose the same amount of money. I'm just going to lose it a different way. I'm losing it with a little more wood behind the arrow. That's my choice now. Playing daily paycheck the way that I do, I've changed my opinion. The book is going to have a chapter on that. Bigger bets, bigger wins, lesser time as an option way to play. Lower bets, lower wins, longer time. Optional way to play. Same bet, go home as a way to play. Press, collect, go home as a way to play. I want you to find for yourselves the way to play that matches your heart, your psychological approach to the game, that does work well with your bankroll and matches your goals potentially, right? And find one that speaks to you, because again, every strategy sucks. They're all going to lose. Every strategy is going to lose eventually, right? It's how do you want that to happen? And when you win, how do you want your wins to come? That's what it comes down to for me. So that's going to be the book. The book is not going to be how to win at craps. The book is going to be crafting a crap strategy or crafting a way to play. And the roulette book would be the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing as craps. It's just that you're betting out here instead of betting on numbers and rolling dice. It's the exact same thing. It's about where do you want your money to go? What do you want to be at risk for? How do you want the wins to come, right? Casino Quest did a great video yesterday. Finally, I actually wrote Alex a text. I'm like, Alex, finally. I've been watching Casino Quest videos for how long, and raise your hand in chat if you watch Casino Quest's roulette videos. Every freaking one of them. Everything on the Roulette Master channel, everything on Jackace, all of these roulette guys are the fucking same. Put your bets out there, you lose your bets, martingale up. Martingale up, it's a 4-step Marty, and then and guess what? You write him a check, right? Everything is like that. It's just put your bets here, here, and here. Marty up. Here, Marty up, right? It's all bullshit. Finally, Alex did a video yesterday, which was the reason why you lose at roulette is because you're chasing your losses, not attacking the wins. And I've been saying this for how long, right? With the pass line, with the field, with whatever you're doing, attack the wins, right? Wins come in clusters and all these things. Where all these 50-50 bets, wins tend to come in clusters. You might chop, but you're going to catch 4 or 5 in a row sometime, right? Be on the 4 or 5 in a row. Parlay, regress, parlay, and be gone. Get that 5 in a row, lock up a little bit midway through, only risk 1 unit to win 12. That's the way you beat it, right? You're not going to catch that every day, right? But you got 1 unit bullets to win 7 or 8 or 9 or 12 bullet, or at the end of it, right? Catch the run. It takes luck to do it. There's no predicting it, but that's how you beat that game, or that's how you win. Not Marty, and you're out of money, which is what all the roulette guys do. Alex did a great video on this yesterday. It was a short, and I'm like, finally, man, that was so well stated and so quickly done. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. That's my book. So I had not started the writing yet. I've got the content, just haven't gotten to it. New job, Randy Hill, sort of. We're in a weird spot right now. So I'm doing some consulting work for a friend at his company, and it's a consulting job, right? So it's an hourly thing. It's kind of like, it's an open-ended deal, or it's a closed-ended deal. I was offered a full-time position from another company, and yesterday another company came through and said, hey, we'd like to have you full-time. So I've got like these offers that are out there, and I got to really decide what's best for me in terms of strain on time, strain on stress, and financial. So yes, we're going to be fine. We have options there, and of course, I'm giving my consulting company job first, right? I work with them right now. I'd like to stay with them if that works out. That's great. So, yeah, the job front is knock on wood going okay right now. So thanks for asking, Randy. I appreciate that. Skill, can I share my new mindset versus the fear of how hard it is to get 2 hits? You know what? I'm scared of getting 2 hits, but I'm more scared of getting 4 hits. Right. And that's what it comes down to. Like 2 hits is hard enough to get, right? It's about a 65-ish% chance you don't get, or you get 2 hits and that's it, right? You got a 30-something% chance of not getting it, which really sucks. If you stay out there for both hits. Now here's the thing, and this is really important. When I run the Dallas Drawdown and I run the 2100 Salute, they're both kind of the same, right? Dallas Drawdown goes out there, and I'll use the big numbers, 3,200 across, right? You can do 320 across. Let's say 320 across. A lot of money for most of us, right? You get a hit on roll 1, you go down to 160. So you're going to take your $70 off the table, your profit, plus 160. 70 plus 160 is 230. In your rack, you're out there for 320 to start. You're down $90 on roll 2. If you get a 7 on roll 2, you're out $90. That sucks, but you can recover from that. Okay. That works on daily paycheck. When I run the 2100 Salute, which effectively is 204 across. Okay. Every 25 in the 4 and 10, 35, 5 and 9, 42, 6 and 8. Everything pays 50 for 1. 2 hits, it's $100, right? The Dallas Drawdown, same thing. Hit 1 is 70. When you go down to 130 or 160, hit 2 is 35. It pays 105. So you get 105 in 2 hits. The 2100 Salute or 204 across, same thing. 50 for 1, 50 for 1, 2 rolls, you're out with $100. Potentially, they both have 2 rolls. Potentially, they both make $100. They are the literal same strategy, right? They're not. And this is why I tell people all the time, you've got to think about the leverage of that 320, a lot more money, right? But what it gives you is the flexibility to drop immediately and reduce your risk down to $90. If you catch a 7 on roll 2, you're out $90. The guy playing 204 across catches a 7 on roll 2, he's out $200. And he has to make that move work 2 times before he's even back to even and can start worrying about profit again. The Dallas Drawdown guy, if he goes down on roll 2, he goes back out there 320. His first hit on the next shooter basically gets his money back. He's basically back over again, stay at that 320 level and start the process again, right? The flexibility that you get, right, with having a drawdown type of system versus a stick it out kind of a system, right, is interesting. Knowing how hard it is to get 2 hits, right? I like the optimization of the drawdown because that second hit is hard to get. I'd rather be at less risk, right, waiting for hit 2 than at full risk waiting for hit 2. Okay. What I did today might need 3 hits, right? You got about a 50-50 shot of getting 3 hits out there, right? If you're going to stick it out, you're really sticking it out there and praying for a miracle in that 3rd hit, right? Knowing that math is true shapes the way that I play, right? Notice that I increased my risk, but I optimized for time. And so when people, like, especially people who are on more on the math side of things, and they're right, nothing matters, right? You're going to get beat when you're going to get beat. Ultimately, it all washes out. But the experience that you have of losing less on roll 2 versus burning it all because you're waiting for it, I don't like that experience. And if you look at our numbers, I can go back here real quick. Let me go back and show you what I'm talking about. Daily paycheck right here. If you take a look at daily paycheck, the 2100 Salute is 14-6. It's a 70% win rate. It's good. It's winning a lot of the times, right? 70% is more than you should win, right? But look at the profit. It's minus $3,000 in profit because when it doesn't win, it loses the whole thing. Okay. The Dallas Drawdown, now again, it's 86%. So it's got a higher win rate. And the reason why is because the roll 2 losses aren't that catastrophic. On a roll 2 loss, I can go back out again and just take 3 hits on the next shooter, and it works itself out to climb back. 86% versus 70% is big, but it's not life-changing percentage difference in win rate, but look at the profit difference, right? It's ahead, and it's not ahead by a little bit. And that's because that drawdown in that second roll is saving me. It's giving me a chance to keep playing. Whereas the 2100 salute or 204 across doesn't give you a chance to go back out. You get whacked on roll 2, sorry, half your bankroll's gone, right? You get whacked on roll 2 in the drawdown, a tenth of your bankroll is gone. You go back out there and keep running it. It gives you a chance to keep fighting. That's the difference with the two strategies. And again, I realize fully that over time, it don't matter. The math will get you at some time, right? But the experience of that style of play, I'm enjoying more. I'm enjoying putting more money out there to make more quicker and get the hell out. That feels better to me. So I hope that answers your question and gives me some more room to talk about that stuff, because the Daily Paycheck show, when my friend and I had the conversation about, hey, use your bankroll. If you're going to have a stop loss, get out there, get out quick. Why are you dinking and dunking? Right? That was a momentous conversation for me, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm nervous about the money. He's like, I think he's the one that sent me the video to watch with the number file one where, the 50-50 chance versus the, whatever in roulette. That is a life-changing video too. It's like, yeah, you realize just how hard it is to grind out 10 wins versus getting 2. And yeah, 10 wins will, you're losing less, you're losing less more often, right? Versus losing more or less often. It all ends up being 0, but it's that experience. It's the experience and it's the leverage. That's what I like about it. So anyway, I hope that helps out. Tim, do I choose a strategy based on feel of the table, or I come up with a playbook and stick with it? I really do. I'm not a feel player. I just don't do it that way. There are some things that I will find that I do now more than I used to. And again, this comes down to, do you believe in DI or not? This is going to be a whole nother conversation, right? But if you believe in DI at all, and I don't know that I believe in DI necessarily, but I do believe that if you're setting the dice a certain way and doing a certain type of throw, those dice find pockets for some reason. I don't know what it is, but they find pockets, right? So if a guy is a setter and he's throwing and he's throwing horn numbers for some reason, right? Whatever that is, I will do a horn bet or a world bet, and I will press it. It happened to me over the weekend a couple times where guys I can see them setting the dice, they're doing their thing. I don't know these guys from Adam, right? But it's like, okay, come out, ace deuce. That was weird. Okay, come out, yo. All right, set a point, right? And then he comes out with like another 11, and I'm like, he's throwing 4 horn numbers, right? In the last 5 or 6 throws, something's going on with what he's doing, and I go to the world. That's a field play that I'll make now that I didn't used to make. Only because I feel like there's something going on there. I don't know what the hell it is, right? But I feel like something's going on. It's worth $5 to make it. And if he hits it, right, 5 goes to 10, goes to 15, or goes to 20 rather. And when it happens, and we had a couple of guys go 4 for 4 on these horn numbers because they were whatever. That's a feel thing I'll do. I don't really have a lot of ways to play, and I think that's why my book is going to be kind of boring, because my core ways to play are what they are, right? I'll do a drawdown on my coffee runs. I'll do the hedgeless horseman on what I call random shooters, or just around the table. Anybody not named John pretty much gets the horseman, right? Or they get a 64 across, 2 hits and off. Either way, it's either one of those two things. Maybe with a little bit of hard way action, but really it's the horseman for me, because that strategy is so non-volatile. I don't care that it ties most of the time. I'll accept a $25 don't pass and 3 $10 comebacks and that little tie hedge around the table till I get the dice again. And that's it. But, when I'm trying to play for a long time, I'll do that. It ties more than it wins, and it's fine with me. I don't care. I sometimes it catches a good roll too, but that's what I do. I play the horseman, little come ladder sometimes. I may go to a molly sometimes if the rhythm of the table is killing me. Like I'm tired of burning $64. I'll go to a little molly system or a dolly, and just let the dice figure it out. And sometimes that'll just leapfrog me into my roll. I try and keep it as low volatility on most people as I can, because I want to throw the dice. and I trust myself for whatever reason, right? Let's see. There's a craps cruise. There are there's two. One is going to be well, the one out of LA that I'm doing is not really a craps cruise. It's just a cruise. The one in Seattle in July next year is a craps cruise and it's going to be one craps table on the boat. So it's going to be a smaller group, 15 people probably max on that cruise. There's going to be a premier hosting craps cruise. There's going to be two of them, I think, during 2025. I don't have dates yet, but there's going to be two. One is going to be, I think, in June on Carnival. The other one I'm not 100% sure of. So yes, there will be an official premier hosting craps cruise in 2025. I don't know for sure that date, if that's the date for sure. Dice Dr. Dan's going to call me out. If Ian Olson's my friend, why did I move? He's moving too. Ian's moving out to the coast as well. They're house hunting as well. Ian is such a good dude. Actually, I owe Ian a little backhand. He slapped me out in Facebook yesterday. I owe him a little bit of juice. And he's beating my wife's ass right now in a fantasy football game. So Ian, we're not friends until Monday because of that. But no, he's a great dude. And again, we're both moving for the same reasons, right? It's like get out of the Seattle rat race. We both work from home. We don't need to be in that mess. And they're looking for their house on the coast. It's amazing, right? On the beach, basically looking over the sound and the mountains. I'm over here in Apple Country, right? Looking over the rivers, and you see my mountain pictures. It's like we both just want to like live like nice, like have a comfortable, easy day, right? Easy 5-minute ride everywhere from where I live. Like that's why we did it, So I love it. Let's see. Alan says, time what we talked about yesterday. $1,000 to start. I want to build to about $3,000 by the time I go to Vegas. 1 or 2 times a week strategy. I would, again, it's not my money, right? But I would do a drawdown. I would do some, and again, with only 1,000 to start with, I wouldn't necessarily go with 320, right? Because if you have a bad day at the beginning, your whole bankroll goes away, right? So you might want to draw it down from 160 to 64 and out. 160 to 64 and out, and rinse and repeat. 160 pays 35. Right, the 64 pays about 14. You're out for $50, and you can rinse and repeat that a few times. Build yourself up. When you get to 1,500, then I go 320, and do it that way. But remember, with $1,000 to start with, you go out there too big to start, you'll be in a world of hurt, right? If I had $10,000 in the bank and I was buying in for 1,000, I would go 320. Like that's like the leverage that your bank gives you against your buy-in. I would put that much at risk. If my whole bankroll was 1,000, I wouldn't go 320. I'd probably go 160. And I think that's the best way to do it. You do a come type of strategy. You'll have a tough time building bankroll because come strategies are very volatile. So just be careful there. Lazy dog, physical items. You mean to put bids in on them. Give me till Monday. If you go to the website, crapsforthecure.com and click the raffle link, you'll see that the raffle link for the boat is there for the cruise. The other ones, I haven't put pictures up yet. Once I get pictures from everybody, I'll put the pictures up and describe the item, and I'll add those to that raffle as that happens. This morning, I got the picture for the cutting board. That will now go up, and it'll be up on the raffle, and everybody can see it. So that will be a thing you can start bidding on right away. But donations are, of course, always going to be there as an option. So. Okay, skill and luck. Let's see. Do you think in the future when you play at super high level, I would be content with a 1? Yes. One hit regress compared to the drawdown. Maybe. What I want to do is tweak the drawdown to leave me at a good spot. So, for example, let's take the drawdown at 640 across, which is probably, even at my best, that's where I'm going to get to, right? If we go from 640, which pays $140, right, down. We draw it down to 320, which is again, easy move for the dealers to make, right? Go to 320, take the 70, right? And then go down to 160 and stick it out, right? What that does is when I bring 640 to 320, right? That's 320 plus 140. Let's do the math here. 320 plus 140. That's 460 in the rack. Okay. The next hit at 320 would be $70 plus another 160 off the table. That puts 690 into the rack, which means I'm out there for 160 with 40 bucks in profit. That two-stage drawdown leaves me at the perfect place to be at a $25 level, right? When you want to bet at green level, that's the place you want to be, right? So 640, 320, 160, and run it. That's beautiful. If I really want to just get out, 640, 320, and bye-bye, right? Just take two and run out of there. So Blackburn, can I add me to my Kent to your, oh, yeah, I meant to write you back on this, possibly. That is the 19th of September hold on one sec. I meant to write you back on this. That is next Thursday. I'll see what I can do. My daughter's coming back home on Friday, the 20th. And so we have family stuff all weekend. She come back from college on Friday. If I can bug over there for the day, I may be able to do that, but it might just be a one-day thing. So yeah, now that I'm in Wenatchee, and Kent will tell you where Wenatchee is. I'm nowhere close to you now. It's a 2.5 hour drive. Actually, to Muckleshoot, it's going to be a 3 hour drive for me to get over there. So it's not as simple like was before. So I'll do what I can to get out there. How many guest speakers do I have for Craps for the Cure? I've got so far, and this is only a so far. Let me get back over here to the speaker list. I've got Garrison, I got Heavy, I got Dice Coach, I got Tony Leo. Dave and I are going to do a couple of sessions. Chuck from Craps is going to do a session. Premier guys are going to do a session. Brian Holy Roller, along with Ryan from Mark the Point, together we'll do a cruising session. I'm working on casino bosses and staffers to give me some other informational segments, and we have a craps chat and a story time. That's what I've got so far. There may be others. I got feelers out there to people that have helped us in the past, like Jacob from Rage Me This wants to do a segment, perhaps. Potentially Rick from Let It Roll, Jeremy from Color Up. It's about, are they going to be there, right? Can they be there in person or will it be virtual? I think like Jacob, I may have to record him ahead of time. And Heavy Haltom, I got to record his ahead of time too. He's going to be on a cruise that week. So I got to record my interview with him, and then we'll play the interview during the show, like as though he were live. That has to be done that way. There's no way around it. So I think same thing with Michael Shackelford. I may have to record his segment and play it during the show. So some of these things we're going to play them like, we might go like 10 to 7 live, and then I'll play 2 recorded interviews from 7 and 8 o'clock at night, and just not be live, but we'll play pre-recorded stuff. So just depends on timing. So yeah, I'm working through it. That's the current state of it, Dan. Okay. So the other thing from Alan, it's not written out, but I will write it out. It's really pretty simple. There's 2 ways to do it. It's the spread, take a hit, go down by half, take a hit, and then either stop playing or go down half again, right? Or the other option is quarters. So go, 640 across and then take 160 off. So take 1 quarter off of each bet, take another quarter off each bet, take another quarter off each bet. So you can do it in 4 stages or 2 stages. Depends on how you want to do it. But I will write that out someday. It's actually, it's a simple strategy, very simple. And I called it the Dallas Drawdown. Again, we give strategies names because we don't want to forget them. Remember the joke I was doing? Like, I've got 2 ways to play aggressively, right? One of them is called the Philly Special. And the Philly Special is super aggressive right side, like just we're going to the table max, right? It's a table max or bust kind of a strategy. And the counterpoint to Philly Special, Philadelphians hate Dallas, right? That's our number 1 enemy. So the Dallas Drawdown was kind of the antithesis of the Philly Special. Philly Special goes forward, Dallas Drawdown goes backwards. So the 2 completely opposite strategies. That's why I named it that. Also, the joke, everything bigger in Texas. So you go out super big, right? We're going to show your big belt buckle right out of the gate, and then we're going to wind it back down again. That's the reason why it has a name, just so you know. It's stupid, right? We name things because they're fun. Yeah, when you're at 25-hour minimums, you're kind of stuck, right? You're gonna be a tough time drawing down unless you want to go 320. So you might have to do a builder play. You might have to go like 110 inside, take an inside hit, drop $9 and press 44, and then come back out of it and take $70 off the table. That might be the way to do it. Or you could literally just play the 4, right? Like playing the 4 and the hard 4 together and just kind of do that kind of thing. That actually works pretty well. Just playing one number at a little higher level, like the 4 at 25 and 15 is great. 25 easy 4, 15 hard 4. It's a great bet. little DP kicker or something like that. So, all right, that's it, huh? No more other questions for you guys? I'm looking around. I'm going to go to the bottom of the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. It's funny. Last week we had all these politics questions. Today we got nothing. So, Tony, phony, whatever. You know what? Here's the thing. And I said this about Garrison too. A lot of people don't love Garrison. And that's fine. I don't care. People don't love Tony. I don't care. These are guys that put a lot of time and effort and money in support of this charity, right? So you got to remember that. Like whatever, you can think what you want to about people for lots of reasons. And you know me, I give Jimmy, Gamble with Jimmy a bunch of shit. If Jimmy shows up and wants to throw, 10% of his $1 million a year winnings at the charity, fucking A, man, come on the show. Let's talk. I'll have that conversation, right? Because to me, when you respect what we're doing, and again, it's for the veterans. It's not about me. It's just for the vets, right? The time that these guys put into it. And again, Garrison behind the scenes has put in probably 25 hours of talking to casino. He got us an article in Casino Player magazine, right? He's putting up donations. He's putting in his time. I think that's deserving of respect. Now, you might like what he has to say when he talks about the way he plays craps. That's all fine and good, but the guy's heart is in the charity, and that's good for me. Tony Leo, same thing. We had a great talk. Tony and I talked for like an hour the other day. How's it going? What's the charity? How can I help? First question, how can I help? What do I got to do? I'll be there in person. You need me to, can I run stick for you? He says. Can I run the stick while you guys are shooting? He doesn't give a shit. He wants to be there, be part of it. That to me, worthy of respect. You might not love what he sells or what he does or says, but to me, when guys throw support at it, I feel like that's really good, right? And I feel like that says a lot to me. So I try and give that respect back, regardless of how you think about what their ideals on the game are, right? Dealer training hasn't started yet. I'm just getting going. I'll start probably in a couple of weeks. Once we get back from maybe I'll start the weekends between here and Craps for the Cure, but probably hardcore after October is when it's going to be. So there we go. Finally, I thought nothing of the debate, Randy. I hated that debate. Did anybody watch the debate? I watched enough of it to get really pissed off. And the thing of it is on that debate, I'll tell you my real thoughts on this. The thing about debates now, unlike before, back in the days, right, where even Bush and Gore was a good debate. That was a good debate, right? Even though there was some good memes come out of that thing, they actually for the most part answered questions that were asked. For the most part, there was a contrast. I'm going to tax you this way so I can do that. I'm going to tax you this way so we can do that, right? Okay, I disagree with what you're saying, and that was how it was, right? You can actually compare and contrast. Debates now, we're so divided anyway, not one person changed their mind. Anybody who changed their mind on that debate is got to have their head examined, right? And I think about it like this. If you were in the tank for Trump, you didn't change your mind. All the people who are pro-Trump were like, oh, the ABC screwed him and 3 against 1 and blah, 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 blah. Kamala's a bitch and all these things, right? Okay. If you're in the Kamala camp, you're saying Trump looks like a child, she looked like a prosecutor, and she baited him and he took the bait. We win. Nobody's mind got changed. Nobody who was going to vote for her now is going to vote for him, and nobody who's going to vote for him is going to vote. Nobody's mind gets changed, right? The people in the middle, the 7% of the people in the middle, right, got nothing out of that. Zero policy got discussed in that debate. It was all just sniping and pissing people off, right? Nothing got discussed. So yeah, the debates I think are a waste of freaking time. It's just, it's shirts and skins now. This whole thing has become shirts and skins. And that's unfortunately, right? And Randy Hill, you're right. I think what you're saying, we made really bad choices here, right? We made one choice, right? The Republicans chose a train wreck for their nominee. That's on them, right? Put a train wreck up there. Now you're stuck with it. And there's a 0% chance that guy wins. It doesn't matter, right? They'll never let him in. They'll never let him win. Just like last time, they'll find a way to never let that guy win. Probably with good reason. Policies are policies, personality is personality, and personality is a thing, right? The other side of that thing, they've selected 2 presidents in a row now. They will have placed Biden in office. They will place her in office. There's going to be no say by the people of who gets elected. 2 presidencies in a row. That's a shame. We're going here as a country. You know, you watch. Electoral college is going to go away. You know, we're going to be majority rule, and then you watch third world country. That's my prediction. So I'm a definite naysayer on this shit, right? I know where we're going, and I don't like it. We're going to go popular vote, and it's going to be a absolute unmitigated disaster. That's where we're headed. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what made it happen this way, but all of a sudden we woke up one day and it's like everybody is not able to have a conversation. It's I hate. And we are just siloed. So there we are. The debate was a waste of time. A waste of time. We all lose. Who is for us? Who is they, not us? We do all lose, unfortunately, because it's shirts and skins, right? Here's the thing about politics. I gotta go. I'll leave with this thought. The framers of the Constitution, they argued about this, right? And it was not like an easy thing to put the Constitution together. You read the Federalist Papers, the Anti-Federalist Papers. It's great. You go back and read those things today. You're like, oh my God, like we have this miraculous system of government that's being torn apart. Okay, it's designed to be divisive a little bit, right? It's designed for gridlock a little bit, right? It's designed to have a little bit of give and take. You need to have a majority. You need to get consensus from this half and part of that half have to come to agreements on things, right? That's the way it has to work. The framers made it that way. It's difficult, right? This is why things like the filibuster are so important to keep in place. Keep the filibuster in place. Don't let the Senate go 51-49 on every single decision, because then what happens is it's a race to the bottom. And whatever party's got 51 people in it runs the whole fucking country, right? It should be 60-40. You should have to get consensus, right? The Senate should not be voted on by the people. Originally, the Senate was voted on, or the Senate was constructed by the state. You may not know this, but the Senate was constructed by the state. The state houses decided who their senators was. The people decided who the House of Representatives was. That's the people's house. It's the state Senate. That's why the Senate has 2 seats, right? It's equal representation for each state decided by the state. Somehow that got changed to popularity vote. And now the people are putting both houses together, and that's wrong. We've already fucked up the Constitution by doing that, right? So that's where we are. We're in this 51-49 over here, and whatever it is, 263 to 262 over there, and that's it. The whole country turns on 8,000 people in some stupid ass county in Pennsylvania. That's the entire election now, right? That's where we've come to, and it shouldn't be that way. There's zero consensus. There's zero actual debate. Nobody gives a flying fuck about making things better. They just want power on both sides of this thing. And we've elected or put up a guy, for better or for worse, that has zero chance. And that's what he's concerned about, is ego. The other side has selected a candidate that nobody wants, and we're stuck with it. So hope you enjoyed the debate. It was awful. It was brutal. And we are going to hell in a handbasket. And there it is. That's my rant. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Hopefully, after this election, I think we're going to start seeing it get better. I really think, as long as they don't completely torch the country the next 4 or 5 years, I really believe that the divisive nature that we're in right now is going to start going away. We're going to stop being ripped apart. I think you're starting to see some of the weird culture cancellation stuff sort of settling in, right, to where it should be, right? Some of the, I hate is starting to go away a little bit. Once we get the presidency thing and this whole crazy, whatever you want to call it, leftist MAGA thing, whatever you want to term these things, out of the picture, and it comes back to normalcy, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. But I worry in the meantime. Wolf did not vote. Thumbs up. I'll tell you what, you don't got to vote. Like I'm a guy, and I'll be honest with you. I'm not voting for president this time. I'm not. I hate them both. Like, I literally hate them, like visceral hate them both. She's got no business being on the ticket. Stop it already. I'm just done. I'm done with that thing, right? You can't control that, right? All you can do is vote down ballot. Make sure you got the right representative for your region. Make sure your senators are right. Vote down ballot. Let's bring normalcy to the houses. That will hopefully bring normalcy to the process, and then we'll get good people and as leaders later on. Right now, it's to this. Let's get this one over with. Let's get the houses right, and let's move forward after that. That's what I'm going to go. All right, I'm out of here. Y'all have a great day. It does feel good to get off my chest. Some days you have to kind of rant. I can't wait to do the politics channel. Like one of these days, I'm going to do it and break it all down. But some days, like the debate thing, I just you get the feels, right? And it's like, God, I can't even watch it. It's so unwatchable. The whole process is unwatchable. You watch any news channel or read any article, go through your app. Like I have like a news app that's like news of the day. Every single title is like, God, really? I'm just, I just want to get out of here. I want to off the planet for a few months. All right, get out of here. Y'all have a good day. Love y'all. And I will see you on Monday. Wish me luck this weekend. And celebrate life, guys. Love y'all. Bye.